Hey, what's up, church family? It's Eric, and I just want to say that Andrew and I miss you guys very, very much. We hope that each one of you is having a good day and that you are thriving in your house and in your shelter in place. We know that Governor Kemp has opened back up, but many of us are probably still going to spend some extra time at the house. We know that schools and churches and things like that are still going to be closed for a while. Our bishop actually said that we are going to still be closed as a conference into mid-May. And so I know that right now we are several weeks deep into our shelter in place, and we can all be facing some temptation. The temptation is that we go into cruise control, that we worry about school, and it can be incredibly overwhelming right now. I know that I've talked to a lot of kids, and they've all said that they have a lot of schoolwork, and it can be overwhelming. And one of the things that we can grow, not complacent, but maybe relaxed in, is in our personal worship and what that looks like. Our job as parents is to train up our children. Solomon says in the book of Proverbs 22 verse 6, that we should train up our children. And if we do train them up, that they will not depart, they will not leave it when they are grown adults. Now, I want to teach you guys something from my camp days that you, as parents, can do at your house. This is one of my very favorite things from my camp days. Something that no family, no kids here in Sandersville has ever seen. The object lesson is called The World's Brightest Match. What we have here, just an ordinary box of matches. Now, I'm going to give you guys some tips along the way. I'm going to tell you guys a story that you guys can copy, that you can also feel free to make some changes to. But what I have is an ordinary box of Diamond brand strike-on matches. Now, I will say that these are the small ones, but for this one, the next size up, the little bit bigger match works a lot better. Now, step number one, I used to tell this story when it was nighttime, so it has to be dark. It either needs to be in a dark room or it needs to be outside at night in a dark place. Okay, that is key. Second tip is that it needs to be you need to be in the room long enough for your eyes to kind of adjust. This is where the story comes into play. Okay? So here's what happens. I tell a story and say, look, in my life I've gotten to travel a lot. Some of you guys know that. In my life I've gotten to travel a lot. And some of you also might have been able to travel. But in my travels, one of the most unique places I've ever been is Transylvania. Many of you guys might not know this. Some of you might. Transylvania is actually in Romania. And I've gotten to be there several times years ago. And my story goes a little bit something like this. A long time ago, back in my 20s, I got to travel a lot. And one of the places that I got to go was Transylvania. This is the same place where like Dracula and all that used to live. And there's a people group in Transylvania called Gypsies. And these people are nomads. They travel all over the place. And they really kind of camp and things like that. But one day, I was in a market and a gypsy came up to me and said, I have something special just for you that you should buy. I said, really? That's great. What is it? She said, I have the world's brightest match. I said, really? That's crazy. So I want to take a look at that. And she showed me this box of matches. So time out. Listen, this is a tip, okay? It might be good for you to take your book of matches if you get a box like this or the one in the bigger and kind of maybe wrap it or put it into more of like an ornate box. And one of the things you can do on the bigger box is to cut out the sandpaper, the striker side, and to glue it on the bottom of the box. Okay? So that's one recommendation, another recommendation I have for you. Okay? All right, so time back in. So I have the world's brightest match. I was pretty excited about this. I've always wanted some really bright matches. And she said, no, these are not just bright matches. These are the world's brightest match. So I bought them, and I took them back. And what I would say to the kids at this point is, I have some of these matches here, and I'd love to show you one of these matches. Do you guys, and I'd ask the kids, do you want to see one of the world's brightest matches? And many times kids, if we say the story well, they'll, oh, this is awesome. I can't wait to see this world's brightest match. This works at any age. I've done this all the way from kids who are 4 all the way through kids who are in 6th grade. Okay, so world's brightest match. And at that point, their eyes are probably adjusted to being in a very dark place. Remember, it has to be in a dark place. And what I would do is say, okay, you guys ready? So here it comes. And I would, at that point, light the match. And then you put it out quickly. Okay? Don't let their eyes adjust back to that light. Light it, let it shine, and put it out quickly. Okay? All right, now listen. This is where the Bible lesson comes in. You say, now look, do you guys see that, how bright that match is? That was pretty awesome. But did you know that Jesus calls us to be lights? Not just ordinary lights, but the brightest lights. In fact, Matthew 5:14 through 16, Jesus says, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives the light to everyone in the house. We're not talking about just the whole city, but in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Parents, I hope that this will be a great tool for you. I'm going to start doing some stories and some how-to videos of storytelling. Just remember that when you tell this, there's some tricks and some keys. First, ordinary matches, perfect. Second, real dark room. Third, put your matches, see if you can find like a really cool ornate box. I have one that's like a hand-painted box. I usually will save that one for real time when I'm telling the story. Okay, make it ornate. Cut this out, glue it, tape it onto the bottom of your box. Okay, when you light your match, make sure it's real dark and you've given enough time for your eyes to adjust, and then put the match out quickly. Okay, to them, once your eyes are adjusted, it will be super, super bright. Love you guys. Hope that this is a help to you guys. Remember, now is not a time. Now is not a time for you to pull away from leading your family in spiritual things. I know that this is frustrating, but now is the time to double down. Okay? This is the time for you as a parent to discipline and to take advantage of the time that you have with your children. Love y'all. Praying for each one of you. We'll talk to you soon.